Hi, everyone. Get started in 1 second. Great. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. I'm Wayne Sutton, head of community at Convex, and welcome to another Convex Spotlight series, where members of the community and founders share how they build on Convex. For those new to Convex, Convex is the sync platform for fast app development, especially for developers working in AI, full stack developers who want to build a mobile app. And today we decided to have two speakers joining us. First is Mike. Mike is a full stack engineer and YouTuber. If you haven't seen him on Twitter or other podcast shows, Mike's awesome. Mike is going to show you how he builds full stack apps with Cursor and Convex. Followed by Mike, be Gabe Fletcher. Gabe is the founder of Edit My Podcast and Makers Help Desk. Gabe is a 20-year marketing veteran specializing in AI tools for non-technical creators. Gabe is going to show us how to build a podcast artwork generator with Bolt.new and Convex. So first up is Mike, and welcome to the stage, Mike. Let me bring Mike up.
Am I
Hi,
here?
Mike. How you doing?
Oh,
Yes,
perfect.
you're live.
Appreciate that, Wayne. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you all see my new mansion. I hope everybody's loving the interior I got. Um,
Nice.
I'm going to. I guess we'll just get started, right?
Yep. All right.
You gave
Take it. Take it away.
the great introduction. Not deserving, but I appreciate that. I'm going to share my screen and basically what I kind of want to talk about because my man Gabe is going to go over all the cool AI stuff and integrating Convex with Bolt.new, building on Bolt.new. So I kind of wanted to talk about more of a like an assisted AI approach. I'm a developer who really loves coding. Like I enjoy the game, but I'm also not the type of purist where I will deny the fact that these AI tools just make you go faster if used right. So one of the things I kind of want to show you is how quickly you could get set up with Convex and with just a few prompts, how you can get something like Cursor to build you, something pretty cool. And no better way than to just write some code and get started. So I'm going to open up my terminal. Let's open up my terminal. And one way I like to set up, I'm going to use Next.js. One way I like to set up my Next.js projects is I actually just go to the ShadCN installation just because it comes with all the ShadCN stuff because that's what I use for styling. So I'll open up my terminal. I'll try to zoom in so you guys can see this better. And I'm just going to copy the npx command, the init command, and I'm just going to do that in my desktop. I init, and then I'll call this is a Next.js project. I'll name it after the first comment I see. That'll be Alex. So I'll do Alex Convex, name the project after you, my man. And we're going to give that a few minutes to set up. Now, while that sets up, one of the things I like about Convex is when I was first using it, I did not want to go through all this, but their quick start section makes it super simple. So when you go through the quick start section, especially if you're using Next.js, you just need to do a few things. You install your application, you install Convex, you run the npx command, and then you just create a provider. Done. And I'm going to show you how easy that is. My Next.js setup is done. We're just going to set up our ShadCN. We'll do New York, neutral. I'll just click enter on everything I see. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our trusted cursor IDE for this, if my thing will move. And let me just open this folder, this project in my folder. Again, we named it after Alex. So I'm going to open it here. So now I have my Convex, my Alex Convex project set up. I'm using Next.js. I have ShadCN. And now I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up with Convex. So going back to the starter guide, I'm just going to install Convex. I like to use Bun, so I'm going to use Bun install Convex, and that's installing. And then I'm going to run npx convex dev. This basically runs my Convex backend. And here's what's so simple. I could create my project here, initialize my project here, and all the API keys will be placed in a .env all by the Convex CLI, which is super awesome. So I'm just going to create a new project. Again, I'll name it Alex Convex because his comment is the one I saw. And we're all set up. I have my .env. Please don't spam this. I will change it in a bit. But if you do, then I don't know what to do. And then I have my Convex folder, and you see some files here. So I'm pretty much set up. The only thing I have left is this provider. And again, Look how easy it is. I click copy. I create a new file under app. I'll literally just name it provider. I'll paste it, and then I'm done. And then all I have to do is copy this in layout. My brother, who is a sales wizard and not a programmer, could do this. So I essentially have Convex set up. This is where the assisted AI stuff starts to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Command Shift K, or no, Command Shift L. I'm going to go to Composer. And what I'm going to do is under the Convex file, I'm just going to create schema.ts. And I'm going to tell Composer, hey, create a schema for a simple form submission. I want to store name, email, and message in my Convex DB. I hit enter there, and then it just defines a simple schema for me. Now, any of the Convex people can confirm this is exactly how you do it. I hit accept, I hit save. It's checking the schema. Looks good. So now I have my schema defined. Now I want to create maybe a simple form that's going to handle this submission for me. So I'm going to just delete this code. I'm just going to delete this code. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag my page.tsx. I want to create a simple form that users can write name, email, and message. I want that to submit to my Convex DB, and then I'll just tag page.tsx. Right? So I'll hit that, and then we see it cooking right here. So far, all of this looks good. So I am just going to hit submit once it's done writing the code. And I'm just going to hit accept. That's perfect. And then I see a new file created under my Convex folder, which is interesting. If we check it out, the AI has basically written the mutation that I need following the schema. So I'm just going to hit accept. And I'm going to go back to page.tsx. And here's the cool thing. I know the AI did 95% of the work, but one thing I love about Convex is it's just how type safe everything is. So let's say I was writing this code myself. I know I need API in order to access the mutation in form.submission. If I click on dot, I see that form.submission is the only thing I can click on. And if I hit dot again, create. So it's one of those things where if you're using AI with Convex, it makes it such a breeze just because of how Convex was built. So all this looks good. I'm just going to run this application now. Okay, localhost 3000. We're going to go here, and we're just going to hit a refresh. And then I'm going to do my email, and then hi, I'm Michael. It didn't do my name, but we'll just check that in a second. Oh, that's because my name is right there. I'm just going to take authority here and add a quick margin up top so we can see my name. I'm going to add my name, hit submit, form submitted successfully. Now, let's just check my Convex account to see if it actually submitted, because I am not sure. We named the project Alex Convex. We have a form submission table, and look at that form submission. How long was that? That took me I think I started on the 2-minute mark. That was 7 minutes of setup, and I have a full application ready to go. Now, here's the thing. One thing that you have to understand about Convex, and the way I look at it is I need something like Next.js or React to display my front end, but then I also need functions. I need a database. I might need cron jobs, file storage, the ability to do real-time synchronization, and there's a plethora of other things that Convex does. When I combine Next or React with Convex, the only thing that's left is my creativity and what I want to build. Convex makes it super, super simple. So even on top of this application, we're going to go here, and I want to show all the submissions I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Composer, and I'm going to say, good job, because you should be nice to your AI. If one day they have guns and all that stuff, you should be worried. So I'm going to say, good job. I want to see the form submissions underneath the form. Can you do that? So let's see what it does here. So it knows that it should create a query first. And then if I look at form submissions, it's creating a get all function, a query function. And so I'm going to hit accept because this looks good. And then if I go to page.tsx, again, it uses use query. So if you've used handstack query, by the way, Convex is a breeze because it feels like it's the same thing. And I'm going to look at the code that's added. Okay, I'm just going to hit accept, and we're going to save. And let's see. Okay, so I see my submissions here. It still removed my design change, so I'm just going to again invoke my authority and add 5 rem. Wait, it did add 5 rem. Why is it not? Let me just hit save real quick. Let me see. Let me add it here. 5 rem, 4 rem, and then I'll add some padding too, just so we make sure nothing's happening. And then okay, that's working weird, but let's just say I add a name here. I add my uncle's email, and then I say I love Christmas, and I hit submit. It's instant, right? And that's one of the things I love about Convex, where if I were to put this form right beside the DB, let me just move this right here. If I were to bring this right here and wait, let me fix this. I don't know why this is happening. And if I move, mm, let me just aggressively add this. Okay, perfect, right? When you do a demo, something has to break. So let's say I add convex and then I add Mike, add convex.dev, and then convex is cool. I just want you to look at the right side. Submit, it's there. And this, you get this out of the box. If you're a dev, you know that handling WebSockets and all that stuff is not a pleasant thing to do. It's fun if you like programming, but it's just not, especially when you're building a production application or you have some sort of client work that you're doing. It is not the most pleasant thing to do because there's a lot of edge cases you have to take care of, right? Convex deals with that for you out of the box. And again, when you go through their docs, there's so many things that you can do. File storage, for example. File storage, it's just a few lines of code that you copy and paste, and you have everything out of the box. And one thing I love about a dev first approach is an AI assisted approach is I'm still in charge. I still tell the AI what to do because I know what's best, but writing these functions, like for example, here, this is just time I save by not writing this. And because Convex's docs is well structured, most of the AI models have no problem using using Convex to write code. And from my experience, I've built big applications with Convex. I built a WhatsApp clone with Convex. The AI models are very, very aware with how Convex works, the structure, and all that stuff. So you shouldn't have any trouble at all taking this approach. And yeah, this is kind of my spiel. I love using Convex again with Next.js. I think when you take the power of Next.js, all the dynamic rendering and all that stuff, and you combine it with Convex and you have functions, DB, cron jobs, file storage, real time, I think this too makes a very powerful combo. And I will show this, however much I can, because again, I think you can build a lot of great stuff with this. Wayne, that's pretty much all I got. I don't know if anyone has any questions. Um, Happy to answer any questions, but this is what I got.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for thanks for the comments plugs too. I mean, yeah. I mean, and thanks for speaking of the fact. So appreciate that. Yeah. I think we can save questions for the end. And jump to Gabe next. But great demo. And thanks for the comments. Awesome, awesome. Let's bring up Gabe. Gonna try to how he builds um on Convex with Bolt.net. Gabe, how you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, loud and clear.
All right. Let's make sure I'm
All
in
right.
focus here. There we go. All right. What's up, guys? My name's Gabe Fletcher. Uh, Thank you very much for having me on today, sir. And
Welcome.
today I'm going to show everybody how easy it is to build a full stack application with Bolt. Now, you don't need to be a somebody who's had traditional training to generate a full stack application anymore. And even though Convex is not something as widely known about like Supabase and all of these, some of the other more, well-known indie tools. Uh, uh, Convex integrates amazingly well and excuse me, and is far more capable, especially when it comes to functions. So Bolt.new is designed to be a client-side SPA development kit, which is a single page app. And essentially you would be sending everything client-side if you're going to do authentication. And that's not super safe for a lot of for a lot of things. So using Convex with Bolt then puts us in a position to where we can build with active back end with edge functions, complete start to finish, and not even need to get out of the Bolt interface. So today, I built this morning. I'm going to show you how you can build an image generation app inside of Bolt super easily and integrate with Convex on the fly. So I'm going to share my screen. And Wayne, I sent a tweet out and I tagged you on Twitter. Let's find my window I want to share here. Okay, share screen, share window. Here we go. Okay. Can I get any bigger in the corner, or am I just limited to this little box here? That's like, it's all right. I'm just giving you a hard time. Holy cow! Not all right. Flip it the other way. Right. We could do it this way. No, this is. Try again.
All right. Let me
I'm
see. I think we can go back. I
huge.
think we can go
There
back
we
this
go.
way. Let's stick with this.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, listen, if you want to hang out and stay on, you're more than welcome to. Please ask questions if you have them. So I have, I'm loaded into Bolt. Right now, I'm inside of one of the dev branches, and I'm actually going to go straight to Bolt.new. And we're going to sign in. Super easy. Fantastic. And because I don't know why this is showing up as light mode, let's do that. So this is how easy this is. So first off, when it comes to Bolt, you got to be good with your prompt. And you got to be clear. You have to tell Bolt what you want and what you're expecting. You want me to zoom in? Yeah, we could do that. Hopefully this that'll look better. So I want in React-Vite, because that's what Bolt knows best. In React-Vite, I want to build we're just going to do thought leadership image generator. And the image generator with ideogram API and Convex. Convex will handle the database and edge functions. I'm going to say you don't need to write them to start. Let's scaffold the application with a landing page, login, registration page, and image generation dashboard, and a gallery. So I think we're going to say so Bolt loves to stick the radix and Lucid, I think React icons. And I personally can't stand the way that they look. So I always tell Bolt, I want to use the latest ShadCN at latest UI, not the stock Radix components. And I want our fonts to be a mixture of Poppins and what's the other one? Inter. So I think this just about covers it. I'm going to tell it scaffold the application, edge functions, and the auth. Check, database storage and edge functions. Okay. Please make the application beautiful, modern, minimalistic, light use of gradient purples, because that's the SaaS thing to do, right? Gradient purple everywhere. And there we go. And don't make it look like vanilla React, because that's bad. That feels bad, man. There we go. So sometimes Bolt will effectively launch the Convex installation. A lot of the times it won't. So you have to do it yourself. And so you'll see here, it's going to start trying to pull the Convex components and things, and it's just like not there, or it pulls the wrong information. And that's just AI for you. That's just kind of how it goes. So it's going to write the code, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to run I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix this, and it'll figure out what the correct command is. So I'm actually working on an extension already to support Bolt and Convex. You have to run the function sync because Bolt will change functions and change code for edge functions all the time. So what we have to do is we have to kill the terminal, and we'll have to reinit the Convex to get the transaction to get the edge functions resynced. And that's a giant pain in the butt. So I'm already developing a Chrome extension that's going to put a button right up here. So we'll be able to just click it, and it'll take care of that for us. So it's going to, right. So it gave some issues here. So we're going to say 404 not found. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go like this guy, and you just copy paste. So it's going to fix that. Like, this is how, maybe I should not have that in front of my face. So it says, I apologize for the error. Let's fix the dependencies and start the application. And this is what Bolt is good at, is creating TypeScript errors and double notifications and repeating things over and over. And that's just Claude in general. Okay, so it's trying up components a theme provider. So you kind of have to carry it the rest of the way, because the first prompt was so detailed that it didn't have everything that it needed. So we have to carry it the rest of the way to get all the missing nuts and bolts. There it is. Okay, so here's the landing page. It's trying to give us a gallery here for some reason. So what we're going to do is come down in the terminal here, and I'm going to make that go away. And I'm going to cancel this and cancel again. Stop trying to run it twice. Nope, there it goes. So look, Bolt's not perfect. And sometimes you got to redeploy it and reload it. So I'm going to let the app start again, and then I'm going to come back over here. And truthfully, I think it has something to do with all the Chrome extensions I have. There we go. Okay, so it's MBX Convex dev. Let's see if we've got it here. Here we go. So it's gonna run the installation, and it's gonna, yes, okay, I'm fine with the device name. It's gonna give me the authentication. Let's see if I can blow this up some. So here we go. I'll make it gigantic. And we'll go like this. And this is not doing what I want it to do. Here we go. This is not a good time right now with Convex and this thing. Can we, like, so we can see what I'm doing? Here we go. So it wanted me to log in, so I hit enter, and it's going to give me this authorization. So I'm logged into Convex already, right? So I just grab the token, I come back, and okay, I took too long. So we'll run it again. That's fine. And I'm just going to go right click, paste, enter, create new project. I'm going to say Convex Live. Enter. So it's going to say, in order to push add Convex to your package dependencies. So this is, again, I am a non-technical. So I'm not the one who's going to go poking around inside of the dependency files. I'm going to let the AI find the problem, and then I'm going to come back and fix it with some back and forth and communication. So now that it has the Convex installed, it's going to try and relaunch, and I'm going to close it again. And I'm going to run the Convex development. Choose an existing project, Convex Live. There we go. And it's going to tell us we've got TypeScript errors. So it's got a few, right? So let's see. So this is some of the stuff that you just deal with. You deal with TypeScript errors with Bolt and any other AI tool, right? So, and it's just the copy paste game. Find, fix, find, fix, find, fix. And it's going to want to integrate Clerk, but we don't need Clerk because we're just going to do direct auth. We don't need Clerk. You're going to use the native convex auth. We don't need Clerk. So let's see, did it? Okay. And you can see here, this is a little bit more back and forth than just straight out building inside of a code editor. Remove all mentions of Clerk in all pages and components. We're using Convex native auth. And again, it's only as good as Sonnet. And that's the truth. It's only as good as Claude is going to be. And it keeps trying to reference this old keeps trying to run this get for this based out of the packages here. So I'm gonna and this is like I wish it was more exciting than this. We're just bug chasing at the end of the day here. And sometimes that's just what you got to do to get it right. Okay, so it keeps trying to put Convex in the packages file. And it's just it's a game of back. I wish this it wasn't this buggy this morning. All right, here we go. So I'm going to tell it to, I want it to run the Convex again. Hopefully Sonic gets a little smarter. So we want to find these TypeScript errors and we need to fix them. So, and then we shouldn't have a problem anymore. I wish that I wasn't so boring and didn't have to be so focused. What's
Hi,
up?
Gabe.
Hello,
Yo,
sir.
hey, how's it going?
You know, this is typical Bolt. It's a lot of back and forth. I wish it wasn't so quiet sometimes. It usually moves a lot faster than this. And
Yeah,
sometimes this is just one of those things that comes with the territory of using AI tools.
yep,
So
yep. All good, all
if you
good.
wanna kind of put me off to the side and you kinda want to talk about Convex a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's I'm gonna drop Jamie in.
Okay.
Jamie's a co-founder and CEO of Convex, and also bring Roz back to the stage.
Yeah.
Roz,
No problem here. I'm gonna keep working
yeah,
on mine. You want to
yeah,
tuck
yeah.
me into a side screen or whatever? I'll
All
mute
right,
my
I'm gonna
mic and
hide
I'll
your
let you guys
screen.
try to chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide your screen, but feel free to keep debugging away. Hi, Jamie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I was just laughing a little bit here because like watching Gabe work, I just reminded me of like we had I don't know if Gabe caught or people in the audience caught, but Mike on our team did like a Bolt.new build on our channel the other day, and Mike was laughing about how like he was like, dude, he's like, oh, he did the run through like 4 times, and he was like, oh, he kept running into like a thing that happened. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna record this time. And the one time he like had screen cap recording, he was doing the video, it worked first time, and you could hear him pause a little bit. Where he was like, and he was so funny because he's on he's on camera and everything, but Mike's being Mike, and so he admits he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you all, like the other times I tried this, I kind of had to iterate with the thing a little bit, and like I just kind of got lucky that this time it happened to rip out the working project.
That's how it goes, man.
Time.
That's exactly how it goes. You end up chasing problems, and it's just Claude. That's it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we're like trying to learn. It's part of why like just learning from you all that are doing this stuff and Mike diving into it more too is like that one of the things we're starting to dive into more with both like ourselves and with the teams that make tools like Bolt and tools like Lovable and stuff is like how much more kind of LLM specific hinting can we do? So at least our side has got some very specific kind of like guidance. Like we published a cursor rules file a little while ago, and that seemed to close some distance. But it does seem like it always will be a bit of a probabilistic exercise, and like maybe one of the things that can close the gap so the probabilities get higher of ending up with the right thing is figuring out what are kind of the right set of hints to provide for each of these tools so that they, if they're using Sonnet or whatever, they're just getting closer to like a working thing out of the box. So, but yeah, I think your experience, Gabe, is like pretty similar. It's like you have days where you're like, this stuff is magic. And then you have days where you're like, at this point, this might have been faster if I just wrote it.
Exactly. You're just like you're ready to slam your head against the wall.
Yeah, these tools are also new, though. It's also not shocking. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to perfect harmony between the kind of platforms and the tools and the models and all the different pieces that are all attempting to work in concert here. So, and she looks like Sean is trying to like help debug in the chat. So, cool. Yeah, I mean, like probably most folks on the stream know what Convex is, but Convex is a sync platform, which is a new kind of backend as a service that just makes sure all your data gets to all the places it needs to be. And one of the reasons why we're excited about these tools is that there's a number of teams that are developing products that are generate, working software project from prompts, things that are similar in spirit to things like Bolt.new and stuff like that on Convex. And we've learned over time as these teams have been building that like there are certain kinds of projects for which the kind of training sets on, for example, like SQL Create makes it so there's like much more confident early projects that get generated on, let's say, like a Drizzle, Supa Stack or something like that. But one of the things that's also been interesting is that sometimes for more sophisticated tasks, because systems like Convex have like more opinionated APIs, sometimes I actually think it's generated as closer to a working thing. So it's like getting any syntax is often higher success rate in, let's say, a more traditional stack where the syntax training set is really, really high. But sometimes, yeah, when the data flow semantics get a little more complex, like they do in more sophisticated apps, sometimes sync platforms like Convex start to kind of pull ahead in ways that are interesting. So, but this is all still really early for us. And we're just still, like I said, kind of still, like it's been great having Mike on our team because like he's super into all this stuff and he's been really diving deep into learning more about how best like have these tools work with Convex. So.
Yeah,
I think I'm getting there on my end here. We're close.
Are you close, Gabe?
Close. Not, but who knows how close really is.
I also heard from Jason Langsdorff and Cassidy Williams that I guess there was GitHub Copilot live stream demo that they did on Convex yesterday, which is kind of spur of the moment, and it seemed that one went okay. So I haven't seen the video yet, but yeah, it's you always get a little bit of randomness when you're using these tools. So. I'm not sure if there were any questions or anything. It'd be fun to dive into more specifically, like if folks want to talk more about AI and Convex or AI in general, or just anything that folks on streamer want to know more about.
Yeah, a couple people asked about some different streams or videos on like using Convex and Clerk and comparing like. Setting up Convex auth as well, and
I think there's a video that was released a few weeks ago on Convex auth, like getting started with Convex auth. That one's on our YouTube channel, and I think a Clerk one. Yeah, I mean the especially with the new versions of Clerk, we probably need to do a rev on a new video. Probably the best versions of that or some of the projects that like Antonio has built with Clerk and Convex together, and the Code with Antonio YouTube channel. And I think Cody maybe has built some stuff with Clerk and Convex together, and even some recent videos too, I think have also. So, but on our channel, I actually don't know if we've got a great video on like quickly getting started with Convex Clerk project.
Jamie, I'll do a shameless plug. I actually did one recently.
I was going to say, I think your video, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I'm like,
Yeah,
I think.
Yes, I used Clerk and Convex, and it was a pretty and I even have the repo up. So for anyone who asked that, you can literally just download the repo, webhook straight into Convex. It's beautiful. Honestly, it was a very simple and beautiful flow. So just wanted to shamelessly plug that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go check that video out, everybody. I do like just like for everybody watching, like it's we've had like a few like really good engineers on our team spending a lot of time on Convex Auth in the last few months, and like to be perfectly honest, it's made us appreciate Clerk even more. I was actually talking to Colin from Clerk the other day, and it was a little bit of like a respect kind of moment where it's like you realize just how deep the rabbit hole is, and like the long tail of edge cases and all the integrations, and so yeah, I think that like we're like Convex is like, even though we think Convex Auth is great, kind of get you started and get you rolling, Convex and Clerk together is still an awesome combination. So I think for a lot of projects where like you're willing to kind of take on another vendor or whatever, like I think what you're going to get out of the combination of Convex and Clerk is going to be more mature and more powerful and more polished than Convex Auth will give you. And so we still would like highly recommend people go with that combination if they're open to, signing up for both Convex and Clerk, I suppose, which is a trade-off that is worth considering.
Yeah. Mike, when you get a chance, you can drop that your video in the chat. That'd be cool.
Yeah, someone asked. It's not the My Current Stack. It's the WhatsApp clone. So I made a WhatsApp clone, and that's where I use Clerk and Convex. And again, to Jamie's point, there are certain things that Clerk just does like fantastically well, especially if you need like the Google API, which is a headache and a half to deal with. So yeah, that's the video, and more to come.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we'd love to find more time for soon is like, another thing we talked to the Clerk team about is like Convex released its component system recently, and like we really want to develop like a really good Convex Clerk component to just automate all the steps of like registering the webhook, to keep your like user data in sync, and like and even just automatic provisioning for when you're in CI and stuff. So we'd love to have something really even more tightly integrated with Clerk, where like you just install the Convex component and kind of like give us your API key or whatever, and then like we can kind of just automatically register and spin up almost everything just for all of your kind of Clerk authentication applications and stuff. So I think even right now, when folks build full-fledged apps with Convex and Clerk together, there's like you do a few steps. Pretty slick when you get it all done, but like you often need to figure out how to like hook the webhooks up to get Clerk calling back to Convex, and if that was all automatic and just handled by a Convex component, I think it'd be really, really cool. Even faster.
I'll give a suggestion for the people that they probably are thinking but haven't asked. If we could do a Convex Stripe Clerk, or just Convex and Stripe, and like some sort of component where I can get payments to, that is that would be, I'd put it on a t-shirt. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that, because we've actually been talking to Sean, who's in chat right now, about he made a Polar component recently, and learned a lot through the process of Polar's another kind of payment provider. And so we're seriously considering investing in making a Stripe component soon as well.
And I'm happy to share all the pain points, because I've done it so many times, and every time there's something painful about it. So if there could just be like, an NPX command or something, I think the people would be happy. Maybe it's just me, but I think a lot of people would join me in that happiness.
Yeah, I'd love it personally. Like it'd be like for projects I'm building all the time, it'd be great to just have like, auth and payments kind of like ready to go very, very easily. So, with subscription, for sure.
Yeah, and that's all about us. Like I do it a lot, especially for like client work and stuff. And there's always something, right? And you can template it and stuff, but like if a team like Convex could do it, I wouldn't be too mad at all. So
that definitely is sort of the dream of components project, is to be able to just automate hooking things together more easily, so that like we're still using all the like well loved and well known libraries and services that people rely on, but like getting them all integrated into kind of a working project happens just really easily. That's the dream. We have a lot of work to do though. Is Convex ready for local first apps? Almost. So there's a really cool project happening at Convex right now that my co-founder Sujay and a couple other engineers, Sarah and Lee at our company, are working on. That is like our own local sync engine. That like, if you check our blog at stack.convex.dev, there's some articles on the kind of in progress development of the sync engine, and I think that the team's looking to have like a demo of that out like pretty soon in the next couple of weeks or something. So internally we have demos, and we're very excited internally. I think we're gonna like share something out pretty soon, showing off what we've got so far. So, and part of what the team has been focusing on in making that is making sure that this local first sync engine has a really natural relationship to the rest of your server side stuff that isn't local first as well. Because like if we look at like Linear, the company, for example, as opposed to like toy Linear projects, right? Like there's all the local first, the ticket management, stuff like that. But then there's also like an account system and billing, and like there's like many projects, even the like very, very local forward projects, almost always in practice are a hybrid blend of some stuff that's sort of like server serializable transactional, and then a lot of local state that has this abstracted relationship to backend state. We want to make sure that like that feels really seamless, the relationship of these two things to each other, so that you're not having to choose between the one stack that works well for like local stuff, and then I've got all this other stuff I have to do that's still more traditional client server because it requires server authority or whatever for authorization or secrets or whatever. The reasons why sometimes you still need servers. So yeah, like when we'll have first version of that out, people can use. I think right now the team wants to have like the first alpha of that out sometime in January or something. Obviously around the holidays, things always slow down a little bit, but our goal is definitely to try to get something shipped as soon as we can. And the team's working very hard on it right now. So it is under active development.
And I can attest to the fact that it's not simple. Like I have a little experimental repo of my own where I tried to basically do what you said. And there's a lot of edge cases. There's a lot of places where it could go wrong. There's a lot of places where syncing just doesn't work smoothly. So it definitely, it sounds fancy and nice, but it's not an easy feat. So can attest to that. But once you guys do get there, it will be, I think local first applications are necessary, and Gabe looks like he had a breakthrough.
Yeah, Gabe got success, I think.
Yes, it installed it and trying to reference the React Native client, and I'm like, we're like React Vite. What are you doing? So I had to remove it. So I've got it synced and registered. So like, it's very clearly working. I think that if I may need to suggest if Convex is mentioned that you include a specific call or arrange the components to be installed specifically. Currently, it adds Convex to the packages file, but I think it's cached the wrong versioning, or it may be referencing the URL incorrectly, because it tries to pull the package off of the npm repo and it immediately 404s, and like it thinks so Bolt will continue with the installation even though that error is printed in the terminal.
Yep.
So you end up backwards on development. So I just had to kind of go around and like yell at it otherwise. So I've got it pretty well. I have it running now.
I'm gonna show it, Gabe.
Yeah. So we can see here that like this is just like what it takes sometimes. Like it's ridiculous. So, and I'm sure that, and like, of course, Convex is like, oh, you've got TypeScript errors? Not today, sir. And it is just, and that's exactly what AI tools are great for, is creating TypeScript problems. They just print TypeScript errors like it's their job. It's their job.
Yeah.
So currently, we can see here that we're logged in. I've created an account. I'm registered. We have a gallery here. So it's trying to poll images that aren't there yet. So this is just dummy data. So if I come over and look inside of Convex here, we can see that it doesn't have any data in it yet. So I need to tell it to sync the schema. So let's prepare to sync the schema for Convex. So now it's going to run the schema file. Users, images, okay. It'll run the run dev. So that means that I need to run the Convex dev to sync it. And it's running. Backfilling. Yes. Fantastic.
Yay.
So we can see here that it's printed that it's been successful in generating the tables. So if I come back over here, we can see we've got users, we've got tables. So now I need to tell it, right? I mean, typically I would go back and say, okay, it's clearly running. It registered me in my local memory. And not in the database. So I would go back and I would say, please make sure the sign up and login forms are tied to the Convex, now that it's running. So what I did is one of the cool parts about Bolt is since it was trying to mess with the package file a lot, I can come in here, I can right click on it and I can hit lock file. So that way, once I know I've got the packages file stable, it can't make any other changes to it.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know about that technique. That makes a lot of sense.
So that is the lock file and target file is great. So if you try to make changes inside of Bolt and it keeps referencing the wrong component, you can find that component, right click, and then hit target. And it will immediately direct, because the way that Bolt interacts with the code is through the artifact system. And it will execute the artifact on that particular component. Because sometimes you have things that are named the same thing, but one will be an API call, another one will be a page component, and they'll share the same names, and it will target one or the other, and you're just like, why am I doing this? Why is this happening? Why am I forsaken? And so it's always this game of going back and forth. So, and this is why I want to create that button. I'm making a Chrome extension that does this, and I'm gonna put the button right here, because I have to you have to go back and I typically, anytime I make fundamental changes, I will tell it to sync to the platform, and it looks like it didn't even change anything. Everything is ready. So I'll run the dev again, and the whole goal of that tool I'm going to make is to eliminate that. So it's just like push button.
Yeah, Gabe, I'm not sure if Jamie aware of the Chrome extension you want to build. You want to just tell him briefly what the full
Jamie,
details
so
of
I was talking about. So I've started it in another window already, and I'm just doing this in Sonnet, right? So I was just like, hey, build this for me, and I like gave it pieces of the code from the Bolt interface, and I'm like, target this area, target this div, put it here. So the goal is I'm making a Chrome extension that's going to insert a Convex button right here that will target the terminal inside the container. It will issue the Control-C to kill the processes, and it'll send the MPX Convex dev to push and sync the functions and any changes. And then if it gets a successful notification, it will Control-C again, and it will send the npm run dev to reboot the dev container. And so that way we're not going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, and again, I don't think anybody at Bolt was planning on supporting something like this. It's like you've got a brand new idea going on right here.
Yeah, cool. There's also, I think there's an invocation where you can do like either convex dev once or convex deploy --dev or something, just to do a one-shot dev deployment, so that you don't have to like Control-C the, I think it'll return non-zero from the command if it fails versus exit 0 if the push succeeds. So you might be able to clean it up a little bit and not do signal stuff that way.
Okay, so that's
once
good
you're
to
ready
know.
to deploy this to the world.
Right. So I've got the toast notifier here. Your account created successfully. So
Nice.
if I come over here, we can see I've clearly been entered into the database, right? So that looks great. So this is where I check the packages file, and I'm gonna make sure, because we're gonna tie this to ideogram, and I don't think they have a package. So that means we're gonna wire this in. Okay, so let's wire in a call to the ideogram API, so we can sync it to Convex. So the other problem is ideogram has strict CORS problems, CORS restrictions, super strict, to where if you try and ship it from inside the web container, even though it has a relay to allow CORS pass through, now that wasn't a thing before. You used to have to program in a reverse proxy, but they took that and made it native. So we have to use the Convex Edge function feature, so that way and I'd probably prefer that, especially if I want to build a proprietary product, right, based off of somebody else's API calls, and I want to build my own. Having the edge functions built into Convex versus printing them client side is the ultimate way to make sure that your application and your code and your idea is hidden from the rest of the world. Right. And that's why I like Convex, because it's like you say one command or you do one thing and it's boop, edge function complete.
Cool. Makes sense.
I absolutely love it. And I think I'm sorry I ran out of time, and I'm sorry I ended up down what we call the rabbit hole. That's what happens when you get into AI dev and context windows. Sorry I ran out of time. Thank you very much for being here. Hopefully we get a chance to do this again once
I love it
has a little more knowledge.
I love it because it's very real, right? Like, this is what it really looks like. I like the one comment that was like, pre-recorded AI sessions are for VCs or whatever. It's like, that's about right. I mean, in reality, this is how it goes. And so it's still it's still a lift, and it's still impressive, but it does sometimes have some speed bumps, and that's legitimately how it goes. So
yep.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, Gabe, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, we did have one more question from Hash Proton. I think I said one more question. I think Mike, if you don't mind, answer that right quick, then we'll wrap up.
So basically, Hash is asking about Lovable. Lovable and Bolt are, I don't pick sides. They're both great tools. I think with using Convex, Lovable was a little bit more difficult, especially since, again, correct, I might be wrong, but I don't think you can edit the code on Lovable, which made it hard for me when I was testing it out. But I'm probably going to nudge the Lovable team and the Bolt team to have like Convex direct integrations, because that would just make everyone's life easier.
So I can give some insight on that. So the difference between, a lot of people mention Lovable and Bolt as if they're interchangeable. And I think this is worth mentioning because it's just a great opportunity to do so on video. And that's a lot of people have praised Bolt for Lovable for making rapid changes, right? I think they were first for Supabase. They were first for a lot of things. And I think that Jamie would probably agree that it's easier to build something when you're bolting everybody else's stuff together, right? Because you don't need to consider how it functions and how it works for other people. And when you say, hey, Lovable's introducing new products and new features and they're faster than Bolt, well, Faster also owns the web container, right? So they're building on their own. It's like Ford versus the shop that's going to tune your Ford, big, massive difference. So it's easy. And they'll probably put Convex in at Lovable before Bolt. And I think that's something worth hinting on, just so the world knows that when you're picking these tools, understand who owns what and who has built their product from the ground up and who's just bolting somebody else's together. So that's where I get off my soapbox and I say thanks.
All right.
Nice.
I think we have one. We'll take one more question. I think Jamie, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, we can't ever dodge a question about price, right? We got to talk
Yeah.
about. Someone was asking, is Convex super expensive when your app gets lots of traffic compared to Supabase?
Way better pricing, actually, I think, right?
Actually, yeah. So we Convex now is very proud of and very fortunate to have some customers that have startups that have grown to have like many thousands of daily active users, stuff like that. And drive a fair amount of traffic every day. Generally speaking, no. Now I will say there are some specific things if you run on Convex that Convex can be a little bit more expensive right now. Like for example, file storage is a little more expensive. But some of those are things that like we just need to make progress on, like via offering, like someone worked on like an R2 component and a CDN component. So I would say none of these things are like identity oriented for us. Like it's Convex's shape to be more expensive. But what we've learned as we've had more app scale is that like certain kinds of applications run very efficiently on Convex and are much cheaper than on, let's say, more traditional databases and backends. And then certain kinds of apps, not very many, but because of, I think, some probably mistakes in our price structure, are like more expensive than we wanted them to be. So the answer is it depends a little bit, but like usually once a team really hits scale, at that point we're talking to the team quite a lot, and usually we figure out how to just like work it out, or because it's normally not an intentional thing. It's just sort of like the simplification of our price sheet right now. Is many folks will look at Convex's pricing and say, oh, these are these kind of new abstractions that you all are pricing because Convex is a little bit of a new platform. And that's true. And because of that does mean that projecting how expensive will it be to run, let's say, a certain kind of social app at a certain load feels like it's at least a different exercise, therefore a little harder than maybe how they would think about a traditional database. Now that we have more data in, I would say in general, the vast majority of the time, it's actually quite a bit cheaper to run it on Convex. The short answer as to why is, I won't go too deep into it, but if people want to know Stack articles or whatever, like they can, is Convex has perfect caching information. And so everything in Convex is automatically cached. We never rerun a query that we don't have to, because we always have full information about what's cacheable and what's invalidated. And so that normally is the thing that unlocks significantly more efficient infrastructure than it Stacks, unless you perfectly tune all your caching, which almost none of us do. I know I never did on things I ran before Convex. So yeah, that usually ends up being kind of the key property that allows you to actually run your project quite a bit more cost efficiently. So a little bit of a like mouthful, but like as usual with technology, the answer is it depends, but usually it's cheaper. So, and come talk to us if you want to like talk through a specific use case more. You can always find us on Discord. Like we're always hanging out there. I'm on there. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. Then we're gonna wrap up there. As Jamie mentioned, yes, join us in our Discord. Easy to find it at convex.dev/community. And we hope everyone have a great holiday season. Gabe, Mike, Jamie, thanks for joining our last Convex Spotlight series for the year. And everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you online.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.